Welcome back, viewers. As you've seen, the whole family is sitting here. Salman, Arif from Mortgage Alliance, and Mrs. Salman is also here to help Hadi and Rosalie about their mortgage qualification. How easy is to get a mortgage for foreigners? Is it possible? I believe the right answer Salman would have, but as Hadi said earlier to me, that he has some concerns and questions which he's going to ask directly from Salman. So go ahead, Hadi.
Thank you. We have some concerns and we would like to know how the guidelines are regarding getting this mortgage as a foreign buyers for this property. We would definitely like a property and we would like to know how it works.
Yeah. So if you like to buy a property in Canada, there are guidelines. First of all, not all the banks are doing. There are few banks they are doing it. So if you want to buy a property in Canada as a second home means if you want to buy as a vacation property, whenever you want to come and you want to live there, you can live there. You have to put 35% down from your own resources, and this 35% down has to be in Canadian bank account for at least 30 days prior to closing date. So for example, you put the offer, the closing date is after 45 days. So you have to have this 35% down payment in the Canadian bank account at least 30 days before the closing date. Now, as a foreigner, some people think that they cannot open an account in Canada, right? There are a few institutions, they are offering, even if you don't have any status as a landed immigrant, you still can open the account and operate it as a foreigner. For income guidelines, Canada will consider, all the banks will consider the income you are making on your back home, wherever you're from, right? And you just have to prove that you're making that certain amount of income, because any bank will lend you money, they will more likely think about that how you're gonna pay it back. So they want to make sure that you're earning sufficient enough to cover the cost, and the interest rate will be as ideal as everybody is getting these days.
So what kind of interest rate in today's date they would be able to get?
He will be getting around 2.69 for 5-year fix if he wants to.
Okay.
And if let's say interest rate will drop down, so he will get around 2.59 to 2.54, something like that.
So Salman, say today, like, after seeing this house, they have to come up with a decision.
Right.
Either they have to buy a condominium or they have to buy a house.
Right.
And like, wherever they put an offer, it would be conditional 5 business days upon approval on finance, right?
Right.
As you said, and you mentioned very clearly that they have to and they must open a Canadian bank account.
Right.
Which takes about less than 24 hours to do that.
You can do it online.
Yes. So you think if they would be able to put an offer today conditional upon mortgage approval,
right,
you can able to work on this file in the next 5 days and get them an approval?
Obviously, we can do that. There are options that we can do. And if, let's say, he doesn't have an account within that certain amount of time, we have the alternate sources to cover that deposit, because he has to put the deposit towards this real estate brokerage to book that property under his name and wait for 5 days to cover the condition for financing and inspection. But in the meanwhile, he can do the process and he can open the account in any bank, right?
So Salman, instead of opening a bank account and put all the funds there for 30 days, would these foreign investors do have an option to send their funds direct as a wiring to their solicitor trust account?
No. Technically, they have to open the account and the money has to be there prior to closing date, 30 days prior to closing date. It's a guideline.
And 35% deposit is quite easy if they can, if they can prove the source, and 35% deposit,
right,
they can get mortgage here in
And
Canada.
ideally, what bank wants in additional to 35%, that you have 1 year payment in your bank account in advance. They want to see that.
Okay, they also, say example, if the mortgage payment is $2,000, then they would be able to have $24,000 in their account prior to 35% deposit and a closing cost, right? No, that's great. So Rosalie, tell me one thing. What if Salman says no mortgage? Would you still proceed and buy the property here in Canada?
Well, to be honest, it's going to be a bit hard for us because it's a big amount,
Yeah.
and we've heard from you that he can make our dream come true. It's one of our dreams, so we rely on you and Zia as well. So
Well, it's Zia's recommendation, so I
Yeah.
have to do.
Well, you know what, to be quite honest, between me and you,
Yeah.
when the job gets stuck and Salman is giving me a hard time, then I'll go straight to Bobby. I said, can you put some recommendations to Salman and get the job done?
that's
You're fully relaxed.
that's
So that's all it works. But great credibility Salman has, definitely. He has a very in-depth knowledge when it comes to mortgages, and definitely you guys would be in a safe hands. Salman, thank you very much. Bobby, thank you very much for coming all the way here to accommodate Hadi and Rosalie. Viewers, as you've seen this whole discussion, we'll go for a quick break. Stay with us.
Buy low and sell high with Zia Abbas.
Thank you. Refinance. It's not always about paying your existing debts or plan a vacation. There is so much you can do with the equity, which is sitting and doing nothing in your house. Call me to discuss your options.